Today we're going to talk about a great way to help burn off some excess energy in dogs that can't be taken out for regular exercise, particularly when you are working on either just a dog that needs a lot of extra exercise and mental stimulation, or if you're working with a dog who maybe is reactive to other dogs, so you're working through a training protocol to help them walk more normally on their walks. And this is also a great way to burn off, again, extra energy and extra calories if your dog maybe needs to lose a little bit of weight. So you start off with their kibble. I'm actually using ZV Peak, the dehydrated little jerky dog food, and I cut it into smaller pieces. But you can use whatever food you normally feed your dog, and you're going to measure that out for the meal. And we're going to be playing the game Find It. And there's a couple different variations. And when I start off, I'm just going to be throwing the treats willy-nilly, and she has to run back and forth to catch them. But as I continue, I'm going to start waiting for her to look at me. So this is also building focus on you. So every time she looks up at me, I'm going to click, and then I'm going to throw the treat. And the clicker marks when she's earned the reward. And then I'm going to toss the treat for her to go get it. So again, there's going to be a lot of movement in this one. I'm going to have to keep it a little bit limited for the camera space, but you can even do this in your yard in the grass, especially if you have a larger dog and you have large kibble, and that'll really take a lot of mental stimulation for them to find. Are you ready, Bug? Is this your favorite game? All right, release. Okay, so I'm just going to start off. She already knows the game, so I'm going to wait for her to look at me for the first one. Good, find it. Good girl. So she's just going to run around. Find it. Good girl. And so in the beginning, it's just willy-nilly. Find it. Good girl. There's no pattern to it. Find it. And she may not know to look at me, but I want her to know that find it means, okay, go look for a treat. Find it. Good girl. And as you'll see, every time I say that, find it, because she knows this game, she starts looking on the floor. So, yes, good girl, find it. So now I'm going to start clicking for her looking at me. So I'm just going to wait for it. Good. Find it. Find it. Find it. And again, if I had a larger space, I could do this behind me in all directions. Find it. Good girl. Good. Find it. And you can see she's looking faster and faster. Good. Find it. And you can actually put the watch me on cue. Watch me. Good. Find it. So I'm going to say that every time. Watch me. Good. Find it when I know she's going to look at me. Watch me. Good. Find it. Watch me. Good. Find it. Watch me. Good. Find it. So she's starting to learn that watch me. Good. Find it means to look up at me. Watch me. Good. Find it, because she had already developed that pattern of looking at me. Watch me. Good. Find it. Good girl. Very nice. Very nice. Good girl. Now for emergency type situations, especially when working with a reactive dog, you may need to distract them in the beginning. Eventually you can actually use this as a replacement behavior. But I'm going to start off with getting her lined up with me, and we're just going to practice doing a find it in a straight line. And as soon as she starts to eat the treat, I'm going to say find it and throw the next one, because again, we want this cue to mean look on the floor. So if your dog isn't ready to look at another dog, you can actually prevent them from seeing the dog, because you'll be doing it quickly enough where every time you say find it, she's going to look right at the ground. And that's exactly what you want. Eventually, when the dog is able to tolerate dogs closer in their presence, you can actually wait for your dog to look at the dog, and then you can click and tell them find it. So they're going to start learning when they look at the dog, they get to eat the treat off the ground. And actually sniffing is a calming signal, so that can help keep your dog calm and also tell the other dog that your dog isn't a threat and help just keep everyone much calmer. Are you ready, Bug? Come here. All right, so this one wouldn't need to be done with a clicker to start, and I would just find it and try and keep it in a straight line. Find it. Good girl. Find it. Good girl. Oh, good. Ready? Let's start again. Okay, ready? Find it. Good girl. Find it. Good girl. Find it. Good girl. And again, in your house, you can be using their food. When you're out on a walk, you want something highly visible and smelly and mushy. So you can use maybe like low-fat string cheese cut up into little pea-sized cubes. I like using the Fresh Pet Select roasted meals that come in nicely sized pieces anyway, and I break them a little bit smaller. But those work fantastic. They're nice and smelly. And again, those are balanced as a food, so you don't have to worry about replacing your dog's entire meal with treats. So The last find it exercise is, let's say there's a bunch of chaos, you have nowhere you can get, there's a dog coming and you know your dog's gonna bark. If you can, find some grass, but you take a whole handful, and I'm not gonna give this to Junie right now, but you take a whole handful and you just tell your dog, find it, and you throw it in the grass, and that should be able to keep your dog interested in finding the treats enough where, again, they won't react to the dog. So that's a nice emergency behavior. If there's something happening and you just can't get any extra space where your dog can be successful, you again prevent them from reacting, and that sniffing is going to help calm them down and keep the other dog calm as well. So those are my 3 find it exercises. One is for burning off energy and for building focus. The other one is to be used initially as a distraction to prevent them from noticing something such as a dog or a stroller or a bike that's something that might worry them or make them react. And then eventually with that second exercise, you can allow them to look at the trigger, be it the dog or the bike or the stroller, what have you, and then they get the reward thrown on the ground. And then the last one is the emergency behavior, where again, it's just a handful and you make it a big party, and you can even help them look in the grass for it to make them just that much more interested in looking for the treats, and that much less likely to notice whatever the trigger is that's a little too close to train.